Have you ever felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts that seem to cloud your mind? Do you find yourself dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about the future, leaving little room for happiness? These feelings are all too common in our daily lives. The good news is that you can take control of your mind and free yourself from this negativity. But how? What if there was a way to transform those dark thoughts into a bright outlook on life? Imagine a busy street filled with honking cars and rushing pedestrians. Amid this chaos, there's a person sitting calmly on a bench, practicing mindfulness. This simple act creates a bubble of peace, allowing them to observe the world without getting swept away by negativity. This is not just a dream. It's a practical approach rooted in Buddhist teachings. In this video, we'll explore how you can cultivate this same peace of mind and remove negativity from your life. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. Here, we share insights and teachings that can truly change your perspective and enhance your well-being. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us spread these valuable lessons far and wide. As we dive into this journey, remember that overcoming negativity is not just about eliminating bad thoughts. It's about transforming your entire mindset. With every part of this series, you'll learn practical strategies and deep insights to help you achieve a more positive and fulfilling life. Stay engaged, and let's begin this transformative journey together. The origins of negative thoughts, tracing the roots in human mindset. Imagine, for a moment, that your mind is like a garden. In that garden, you have both flowers and weeds. The flowers are your positive thoughts, the moments of happiness and feelings of peace. But the weeds, those are the negative thoughts, the doubts, the fears, the frustrations that creep in and take over if left unchecked. Have you ever wondered where these weeds come from? Why do negative thoughts grow so easily while the positive ones seem so fragile? As we dive into the origins of negative thoughts, it's important to understand that they don't just appear out of nowhere. Our minds are shaped by a lifetime of experiences, habits, and reactions to the world around us. From a Buddhist perspective, these thoughts are deeply tied to our attachments, desires, and aversions. We hold on to things we want and push away things we fear or dislike. And this constant struggle creates tension within us. That tension is where negativity finds its roots. Think about a time when you felt upset. Maybe someone said something hurtful, or you didn't get what you expected. In those moments, your mind naturally clings to that discomfort, replaying the event over and over. The more you focus on it, the bigger the problem seems to grow. It's like watering those weeds in your mental garden. The more attention you give them, the stronger they become. This pattern often begins early in life. As children, we start forming ideas about ourselves and the world based on what we see and hear. Maybe you were told that you weren't good enough or smart enough, or perhaps you were compared to others in a way that made you feel less valuable. These experiences leave an imprint on the mind, and as we grow older, those thoughts stay with us, shaping the way we see ourselves and the world around us. In Buddhism, this is known as conditioning. Our minds are conditioned by past experiences to react in certain ways. When something happens, we respond automatically, often without even realizing it. These automatic responses are often rooted in fear, insecurity, or a desire for control. For example, when faced with failure, we might immediately think, "I'm not capable," instead of seeing it as an opportunity to learn. Over time, these conditioned responses build up and create a cycle of negativity. But here's the thing, these negative patterns are not who you truly are. They are learned behaviors, habits of mind that can be unlearned. The Buddha taught that all of us have the potential to free ourselves from these patterns and cultivate a mind that is calm, clear, and free from negativity. The first step is recognizing that these negative thoughts are not a permanent part of you. They are like passing clouds in the sky. They come and go, but they don't define the sky itself. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. Think about a negative thought you've had recently. Maybe it was a feeling of frustration with a coworker, disappointment in yourself, or worry about the future. Now, ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Was it based on reality? Or was it a reaction to something that didn't go as planned? More often than not, these thoughts are reactions, temporary responses to temporary situations. In Buddhism, one of the key teachings is that everything is impermanent, including our thoughts. Just as the seasons change and the clouds drift by, so too do our feelings and mental states. This understanding can be incredibly liberating because it means that no matter how deep your negative thoughts seem, they are not permanent. They don't have to define your life. So, how do we begin to trace the roots of these negative thoughts and pull them out like weeds in a garden? One powerful method is through mindfulness, being fully aware of your thoughts without getting lost in them. When you notice a negative thought arise, don't fight it or try to push it away. Instead, observe it. Where is it coming from? What is it based on? Is it a fear, a past hurt, an unmet expectation? By observing your thoughts in this way, you begin to see that they are just that, thoughts. They are not necessarily true, and they don't have to control you. This is the beginning of breaking the cycle of negativity. Another important step is to let go of attachment to outcomes. Much of our negativity comes from wanting things to be a certain way and feeling upset when they aren't. But life is unpredictable, and trying to control every outcome only leads to frustration. By accepting that not everything will go according to plan, you free yourself from the constant push and pull of desire and disappointment. Take, for example, a simple situation like waiting in line. You want the line to move faster, but it doesn't. Negative thoughts start to arise, impatience, frustration, maybe even anger. But if you step back for a moment and accept that the line is moving at its own pace, you create space in your mind for calmness. You can choose how to react to the situation. Instead of feeding the negativity, you can let it go. This practice of acceptance is key in Buddhism. It doesn't mean you have to like every situation, but by accepting things as they are, you stop resisting reality. And when you stop resisting, you stop creating unnecessary suffering for yourself. The negativity begins to lose its power. Another tool that can help in this process is compassion, both for yourself and for others. Many negative thoughts are born out of self-judgment or frustration with others. But when you approach these situations with kindness, it's like pouring water on a fire. The flames of negativity die down, and you create space for more positive thoughts to grow. For example, if you're feeling angry with someone, try to put yourself in their shoes. Maybe they were having a difficult day, or perhaps they didn't realize how their actions affected you. By shifting your perspective, you soften the negative feelings and open yourself to understanding. And remember, it's equally important to be compassionate with yourself. When negative thoughts arise, don't beat yourself up for having them. Recognize that they are a natural part of the human experience and treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. In conclusion, the origins of negative thoughts are deeply rooted in our conditioning, our attachments, and our desires. But these patterns are not set in stone. Through mindfulness, acceptance, and compassion, we can begin to trace the roots of these thoughts and gently pull them out, making space for peace and positivity to flourish. This journey isn't about forcing yourself to be positive all the time. It's about creating a mindset that is open, aware, and free from the grip of negativity. Remember, your mind is like a garden. You have the power to nurture it, to remove the weeds of negativity, and to allow the flowers of peace and joy to grow. Let me share a simple, yet powerful truth about life and the mind. Often, people think that the mind is something we cannot control, that it's a wild river, flowing endlessly in all directions. Sometimes, it rushes into anxiety. Other times it slows down into laziness or doubt. But what if I told you that this very mind, which seems out of control, is something you can calm and center? Today, we will explore what the Buddha called mental clarity and how you can achieve it by embracing the middle way. The middle way is at the heart of Buddhism. It is the balance between extremes, avoiding both indulgence and strict denial. Just like tuning a string instrument, you don't want the strings too tight, nor too loose, but just right to make beautiful music. Our mind works in the same way. When we let it run to extremes, either in constant desire or deep dissatisfaction, we lose clarity. But when we center our thoughts and actions, we find peace and insight. Imagine your mind as a glass of water. When the water is still, you can see through it clearly. But if you shake the glass, it becomes murky. This is how our thoughts work. In daily life, we are constantly shaking the glass with stress, distractions, and desires. We chase after things we think will make us happy or worry about things that might go wrong. But in reality, both of these extremes, craving and fear, keep the water of our mind stirred up. The Buddha taught that to achieve mental clarity, we need to stop shaking the glass. We need to let the water settle. Only when our minds are calm can we see things as they truly are. This is the essence of the middle way, finding a calm, balanced state where we are neither driven by desire nor held back by fear. How do we stop shaking the glass of our mind? It begins with awareness. Most people don't realize how often they let their thoughts control them. A small worry about the future can snowball into overwhelming anxiety. A brief moment of frustration can grow into anger. But if we become aware of these thoughts as they arise, we can catch them before they spiral out of control. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of being present, fully aware of the moment without judgment. It's simple, but not always easy. Think of it like this. You are watching your thoughts come and go, just as you might watch clouds pass across the sky. You don't try to hold on to them or push them away. You simply observe. By doing this, you stop adding fuel to your emotions, and they naturally calm down on their own. In Buddhism, there is a concept called right mindfulness, which is part of the Noble EightFold Path. It is the practice of maintaining awareness of your body, feelings, mind, and surroundings. But being mindful is not about controlling or suppressing your thoughts. It's about noticing them and gently bringing your attention back to the present moment, over and over again. Each time you do this, you strengthen your ability to see things clearly and keep your mind balanced. One common misunderstanding is that mental clarity means having no thoughts at all. This is not the case. Thoughts will always arise. The difference is how you respond to them. Instead of being swept away by every passing thought, you learn to observe them without attachment. You see them for what they are, just thoughts, not reality. They come and go, like waves on the ocean, but they don't disturb the deep, still waters below. Now, let's talk about desires. In life, we are often driven by wanting more. More success, more pleasure, more things. We believe that achieving these desires will make us happy, but the truth is, they rarely do. The moment we get what we want, we start desiring something else, and the cycle continues. This endless craving keeps our minds in a constant state of agitation. The Buddha saw this clearly and taught that desire is one of the main sources of suffering. But he also taught that we don't need to completely eliminate all desires to be happy. Instead, we need to understand them. Not all desires are harmful. There are wholesome desires, like the desire to help others or improve ourselves. The key is balance, recognizing which desires lead to suffering and which lead to peace. When we live according to the middle way, we don't give in to every desire, nor do we suppress them completely. We find a balanced approach where we can enjoy life without becoming attached to things or outcomes. This balance brings mental clarity because we are no longer pulled in every direction by our cravings. On the other side of desire is fear. Just as we are often driven by wanting more, we are also held back by our fears. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. These fears cloud our minds and prevent us from seeing clearly. They make us hold on to things we don't need and avoid taking risks that could help us grow. But just as with desire, the middle way teaches us not to be ruled by fear. Fear, like desire, will always be there. But instead of letting it control us, we can learn to face it with calm and clarity. The next time you feel fear rising, take a moment to observe it. Notice where it is coming from and what it is trying to protect you from. Then, ask yourself, does this fear serve me? Is it helping me? Or is it keeping me stuck? When you approach fear with curiosity instead of resistance, it loses its power over you. By finding balance between desire and fear, we clear the mind and create space for insight. This is the path of the middle way. It's not about reaching a perfect state where there are no challenges or emotions. It's about learning to navigate life with wisdom and balance. To achieve this mental clarity, meditation plays a crucial role. Meditation helps us practice stilling the mind, much like letting the water in a shaken glass settle. Through regular meditation, we train our minds to return to this calm, balanced state more easily. Even when life gets hectic, we can come back to our center and see things clearly. But mental clarity is not just something we achieve on the meditation cushion. It's something we carry with us into daily life. When you face challenges, whether at work, in relationships, or in your own thoughts, remember the middle way. Don't be pulled into extremes of frustration or desire. Instead, take a step back, breathe, and find your balance. The more you practice this, the more naturally it will come. Over time, you will notice that your mind becomes clearer, your emotions more stable, and your sense of peace deeper. This is the gift of the middle way, a life lived with balance, wisdom, and clarity. As we continue this journey, keep this teaching close to your heart. The middle way is not about perfection, it's about progress. Each step you take towards balance is a step towards mental clarity and inner peace. Mindfulness, the first step to overcoming negativity. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in our thoughts, worries, and distractions. Often, we find ourselves replaying negative experiences or stressing about things that haven't happened yet. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, allowing us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's a powerful tool that can help us clear the clutter of negativity in our minds. To begin practicing mindfulness, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Focus on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. Feel the air fill your lungs and notice how your chest rises and falls. This simple act of paying attention to your breath anchors you to the present moment. If your mind starts to wander, perhaps drifting into worries or memories, gently bring your focus back to your breath. This is mindfulness in action. Mindfulness allows us to step back from our thoughts and view them with a fresh perspective. Instead of being overwhelmed by negativity, we learn to observe our thoughts as if they are clouds passing in the sky. Some clouds may look dark and heavy, but they don't define the entire sky. By recognizing that thoughts come and go, we can prevent them from taking over our emotions and actions. A practical exercise in mindfulness is to practice mindful walking. When you walk, pay close attention to each step. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the rhythm of your body moving. Observe the sights, sounds, and smells around you. This practice connects you with your surroundings and keeps your mind from wandering into negative thoughts. You can also integrate mindfulness into daily activities. Whether you are eating, washing dishes, or even brushing your teeth, bring your full attention to the task at hand. Focus on the sensations, smells, and sounds associated with the activity. This practice not only helps you stay present, but also turns mundane tasks into moments of joy. Mindfulness is not just about being present, it's about acceptance. When negative thoughts arise, instead of fighting them or pushing them away, acknowledge them. Understand that it's okay to feel this way. By accepting our feelings without judgment, we create space for healing and growth. We learn to respond to negativity with compassion rather than frustration. Another important aspect of mindfulness is gratitude. Practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. Every day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. They can be simple, like the warmth of the sun on your skin or the taste of your favorite meal. This practice helps train your mind to recognize the positive aspects of life, making it harder for negativity to take hold. As you develop your mindfulness practice, remember that it is a journey, not a destination. Some days will be easier than others. There may be times when negativity feels overwhelming. In those moments, return to your breath and remind yourself that you have the tools to overcome these feelings. Each breath is a step towards clarity and peace. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is closely tied to the concept of right intention. This means approaching each moment with a positive and open heart. By cultivating intentions of kindness and understanding, we can replace negative thoughts with thoughts of love and compassion. This shift in mindset not only benefits us, but also those around us. Mindfulness is also about connecting with others. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of how our actions affect those around us. We learn to listen more deeply and respond with compassion. This creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity in our relationships and communities. When we remove negativity from our minds, we can contribute to a more peaceful world. To sum up, mindfulness is a vital first step in overcoming negativity. It teaches us to be present, accept our feelings, and cultivate gratitude. By practicing mindfulness regularly, we can create a strong foundation for a more positive and fulfilling life. As we continue this journey, let's embrace the beauty of each moment and remember that we have the power to change our thoughts and, ultimately, our lives. Meditation, calming the storm within. Meditation is a powerful tool that can help calm the storm within our minds. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, our thoughts can become jumbled and overwhelming. But through meditation, we can create a peaceful space within ourselves. Let's explore how meditation works and how it can help remove negativity from our minds. Imagine a lake on a windy day. The surface is choppy and the water is murky. But when the wind calms, the water becomes clear and still. This is similar to our minds. When we meditate, we allow our thoughts to settle, just like the water in the lake. We can see our thoughts more clearly, and we can choose which ones to hold on to and which to let go of. To start meditating, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, with your back straight but relaxed. You can sit on a chair or on the floor, whatever feels best for you. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the air leave your body, taking with it any tension or negativity you may be holding on to. As you breathe, focus on your breath. Notice how it feels as it enters and leaves your body. Thoughts will come into your mind. That's normal. Instead of trying to push them away, simply acknowledge them and let them float away like clouds in the sky. The key is to not get attached to these thoughts. Just watch them pass by. You might find it helpful to count your breaths. Inhale deeply and silently count 1, then exhale and count 2. Continue this until you reach 10 and then start over. This simple technique can help keep your mind focused and prevent it from wandering. If your mind wanders, perhaps to a problem at work or something you forgot to do, gently guide your attention back to your breath. It's okay. This is part of the practice. Each time you bring your focus back, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. Over time, this practice helps create a more peaceful and clear mind. Meditation doesn't have to be long. Even just a few minutes each day can make a significant difference. Start with 5 minutes and gradually increase to 10 or even 20 minutes as you become more comfortable. The goal is not to reach a particular state, but simply to show up for yourself and your practice. As you meditate regularly, you may notice that you respond to situations differently. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you might find yourself feeling calmer and more centered. This shift can have a positive impact on your relationships and how you navigate daily challenges. Think about how a small stream can erode a rock over time. It doesn't happen all at once. It's the consistent flow of water that creates change. Similarly, your daily meditation practice can gradually erode the negativity in your mind, allowing room for positive thoughts and feelings to flourish. In addition to reducing negativity, meditation can help increase your self-awareness. As you sit in silence, you'll start to notice patterns in your thinking. Are there certain thoughts that pop up frequently? Do you often worry about the future or dwell on past mistakes? By identifying these patterns, you can begin to understand how they affect your mood and behavior. With increased self-awareness comes the power to change. You can choose to let go of thoughts that no longer serve you. Just as you wouldn't want to carry heavy stones in your backpack, you don't have to carry negative thoughts in your mind. Meditation teaches you that you have the choice to release what no longer serves you. Meditation can also foster compassion, both for yourself and for others. As you cultivate a sense of inner peace, you become more empathetic. You start to realize that everyone has struggles and that it's okay to have difficult thoughts and feelings. This understanding can lead to greater kindness towards yourself and those around you. After your meditation session, take a moment to reflect on how you feel. You might feel lighter, more at ease, or even more connected to yourself. Carry this sense of calm with you throughout your day. Whenever you feel negativity creeping back in, remember that you can return to your breath and find that inner stillness again. Incorporating meditation into your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. Find a time that works best for you. Maybe in the morning to start your day, during lunch for a midday reset, or in the evening to unwind before bed. Consistency is key. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. As you embark on this journey of meditation, be patient with yourself. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you show up and practice. Over time, you'll notice profound changes in your mind and how you approach life. Remember, meditation is not just a practice. It's a journey towards understanding yourself better. Embrace the process and trust that each moment you spend in meditation brings you closer to a more peaceful and positive mindset. By calming the storm within, you create space for joy, love, and positivity to flourish in your life. The role of compassion in dispelling negativity. Compassion is a powerful force that can transform our minds and hearts. In Buddhism, compassion is not just a feeling. It is an active choice to care for others and ourselves. When we practice compassion, we open our hearts to the suffering of others and ourselves, allowing us to break free from negativity. Imagine a seed. When you plant it and nurture it with water and sunlight, it grows into a beautiful tree. Compassion works the same way. When we cultivate compassion within ourselves, it sprouts and flourishes, pushing out the weeds of negativity. We learn to understand the pain of others, and in doing so, we begin to heal our own. Many times, we are harsh on ourselves. We might replay our mistakes in our minds, judging ourselves for not being perfect. But what if we treated ourselves with the same kindness we offer to a friend in need? When a friend feels down, we often say comforting words, reminding them of their worth. Why not do the same for ourselves? By practicing self-compassion, we can silence our inner critic and create space for positivity to thrive. Compassion also helps us see beyond our own troubles. When we focus on others' suffering, we realize we are not alone in our struggles. Everyone faces difficulties. Everyone has their battles. This shared understanding can lift the weight of negativity from our hearts. Instead of feeling isolated in our pain, we begin to connect with others, fostering a sense of community and belonging. Let's take a moment to reflect on the practice of loving kindness meditation. This is a simple yet profound way to cultivate compassion. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Imagine someone you love dearly. Picture their face and silently repeat these phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel the warmth of your wishes enveloping them. Now, expand this circle of compassion. Visualize a friend, then a neutral person, and finally someone you may have difficulty with. Repeat the same phrases, allowing your heart to open wider with each breath. This practice helps dissolve barriers of negativity, filling your mind with love and compassion instead. Compassion is not limited to people we know. It extends to all living beings. When we develop a sense of compassion for animals and the environment, we recognize our interconnectedness. Every living creature shares the same desire to be happy and free from suffering. This awareness inspires us to act kindly and thoughtfully, contributing to a more positive world. In moments of negativity, remember the power of a simple smile. A smile can uplift not just your mood, but also the mood of those around you. It creates a ripple effect of positivity. When we smile at someone, we often receive a smile in return. This exchange can lighten heavy hearts, making us feel more connected and less alone in our struggles. Engaging in acts of kindness is another way to practice compassion. These actions don't have to be grand gestures. Even small, simple acts can have a profound impact. Holding the door open for someone, offering a compliment, or helping someone carry their groceries can brighten someone's day. These moments not only uplift others, but also cultivate joy within ourselves. Compassionate listening is another essential practice. Often, when we talk to someone who is suffering, we want to offer solutions or advice. While this is well-intentioned, sometimes people just need someone to listen. By giving our full attention and allowing them to express their feelings without interruption, we create a safe space for them to heal. This act of compassion can help dissolve negativity and foster deeper connections. Additionally, we must recognize the importance of boundaries in compassion. While we want to help others, it's vital to ensure that we also take care of ourselves. Compassion does not mean sacrificing our well-being. It's okay to say no when we feel overwhelmed. By taking care of our own needs, we can show up for others more fully. As we embrace compassion, we gradually become more mindful of our thoughts and actions. When negativity arises, we can remind ourselves to respond with kindness instead of judgment. Instead of criticizing ourselves for a mistake, we can acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward with a compassionate heart. Buddhism teaches us that compassion is a path to enlightenment. When we open our hearts to the suffering of others, we begin to see the world through a lens of love and understanding. This shift in perspective can alleviate our own suffering and help us cultivate a more positive mindset. In summary, compassion is a vital tool for dispelling negativity. By practicing self-compassion, engaging in loving-kindness meditation, performing acts of kindness, and compassionate listening, we can create a more peaceful mind and a brighter world. Embrace compassion as a daily practice and watch as it transforms your life and the lives of those around you. The more we nurture compassion, the more it flourishes, replacing negativity with joy and connection. Impermanence. Accepting change as a tool for positivity. Introduction to impermanence. Today, I want to talk about something that is always happening around us but can often be difficult to accept: change. Change is everywhere. From the seasons shifting to the way our own bodies and minds evolve, nothing stays the same forever. This is the truth of impermanence, a central teaching in Buddhism. Impermanence means that everything in life is constantly changing, nothing is fixed, and nothing lasts forever. But here's the thing. While this may seem scary at first, impermanence is actually one of the most powerful tools we have to cultivate positivity in our lives. By learning to accept change, we can let go of our attachments to things, ideas, and even people, and embrace the present moment with peace and clarity. The nature of life is change. Everything in life is in a state of constant change. Think about it. Your body changes every day, growing older, healing, getting stronger or weaker. Your thoughts change too. What you believed strongly in last year may not seem as important today. Even the world around you is always shifting. Relationships, careers, the environment, everything is in motion. When we resist change, we create suffering. We want things to stay the same because we feel safe in familiarity. But clinging to things that are naturally changing is like trying to hold on to water. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Accepting impermanence means understanding that trying to control everything is futile, and that real peace comes from flowing with life's changes instead of fighting against them. Impermanence as a positive force. At first glance, impermanence might seem like a negative thing. After all, no one likes to think about losing something or someone they care about. But if we take a closer look, we can see that impermanence also brings many opportunities for growth and happiness. Without change, there would be no room for improvement or learning. We would be stuck in the same situation forever, unable to evolve. For example, think of a challenging time in your life. Maybe you went through a tough breakup, lost a job, or faced a personal crisis. At the time, it may have felt like your world was falling apart. But over time, as things changed, you likely found new opportunities, new relationships, or new strengths within yourself that you didn't know you had. That's the power of impermanence. It opens the door to new possibilities. Letting go of attachments. A big part of accepting impermanence is learning to let go of our attachments. Attachments are the things we hold onto tightly because we believe they bring us happiness, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or even our own beliefs and opinions. But when we become too attached, we set ourselves up for suffering because everything is bound to change at some point. Buddhist teachings often use the analogy of a river. Life is like a flowing river, constantly moving and changing. If we try to hold onto one part of the river, we will never experience the beauty of its flow. Letting go of attachments doesn't mean we stop caring about things, but it means we learn to appreciate and enjoy them without expecting them to last forever. Living in the present moment. One of the best ways to embrace impermanence is to live fully in the present moment. When we focus too much on the past or worry about the future, we miss out on what is happening right now. And the truth is, the present moment is the only moment we truly have. Everything else is just a memory or a possibility. Mindfulness is a powerful practice that helps us stay connected to the present. By paying attention to what is happening in each moment, whether it's the feeling of the sun on your skin, the sound of the wind, or even your own breath, you can experience life more fully. You begin to see that each moment is precious and that change is not something to fear, but something to be embraced. The role of suffering in impermanence. Many of us associate change with loss and suffering. It's natural to feel sad when we lose something or someone important to us. But in Buddhism, suffering is seen as a part of life, not something to avoid or push away. The truth of impermanence teaches us that suffering is temporary, just like everything else. When we experience pain or hardship, it can feel overwhelming. But when we remember that this too will pass, we can find comfort in knowing that nothing lasts forever, not even our suffering. This understanding helps us face life's challenges with more resilience and peace. Finding freedom in change. Impermanence also brings us freedom. When we stop clinging to things that are always changing, we free ourselves from a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety. We no longer need to worry about holding on to something forever or fear losing it. Instead, we can enjoy things as they are, for as long as they last, and then let them go when it's time. This sense of freedom allows us to live with more openness and joy. We stop being afraid of change and start welcoming it as a natural part of life. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Using impermanence to cultivate gratitude. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we also begin to appreciate what we have in the moment. Impermanence teaches us to be grateful for the people, experiences, and things in our lives because we know they won't be around forever. Gratitude helps us shift our focus away from what we don't have or what we fear losing, and instead, we become more aware of the abundance in our lives right now. Every day becomes an opportunity to cherish what we have, whether it's a meaningful conversation with a friend, a quiet moment of reflection, or even a simple meal. When we embrace impermanence, we realize that these small moments are what make life rich and meaningful. Practical steps to embrace impermanence. So how can we start to accept and embrace impermanence in our daily lives? Here are a few practical steps. Practice mindfulness. Spend a few moments each day being fully present. Notice the little changes happening around you, the movement of the clouds, the way the light changes throughout the day, or even the subtle shifts in your own emotions and thoughts. Let go of what you can't control. Make a conscious effort to release your grip on things you have no power over. Whether it's a past mistake or a future outcome, acknowledge that you can't change everything, and that's okay. Embrace new experiences. Be open to trying new things and stepping out of your comfort zone. Change often brings growth, so welcome new opportunities with curiosity and courage. Cultivate gratitude. Take time each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. Remember that nothing is permanent, and that's what makes these moments special. Accept loss with grace. When something comes to an end, whether it's a relationship, a phase of life, or a personal goal, allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with it. Then, gently remind yourself that every ending is also a new beginning. Conclusion. Impermanence is a powerful and liberating truth. When we learn to accept that everything in life is always changing, we free ourselves from the stress and suffering that come with clinging to the unchangeable. By embracing change, we open our hearts to new possibilities, find peace in the present moment, and live with greater gratitude and joy. Remember, life is like a flowing river, constantly moving, constantly changing. Let go of the need to control it and instead, enjoy the journey. The Four Noble Truths, Pathway to Ending Mental Suffering. Greetings, my friend. Today, we will explore something very important, something that can change your life and help you remove negativity from your mind. It is the wisdom of the Buddha himself, the Four Noble Truths. These truths offer a clear and practical path to understanding suffering and how to free yourself from it. They are like a map that shows us the way out of the maze of negative thinking and endless worries. First, let's take a step back and think about our daily lives. Isn't it true that, no matter what we do, there's always some form of dissatisfaction? Even when we achieve our goals, we find something new to worry about. This feeling of not being completely content is what we call suffering, or in Buddhism, dukkha. This is the starting point of the Four Noble Truths. Let's walk through them slowly, one by one, and you'll see how they can change the way you view life, negativity, and happiness. 1. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering, dukkha. The first truth is simple but powerful. Life involves suffering. This may sound pessimistic at first, but let's look at it closely. Buddha didn't mean that life is only suffering, but that suffering is a part of life. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever felt pain, disappointment, or frustration? Have you ever lost something or someone you cared about? These moments are all forms of suffering, but it's not just the big things. Even in small ways, suffering shows up in our lives. For example, have you ever been stuck in traffic and felt irritated? Or maybe you were hungry and couldn't find food right away, and it made you feel annoyed. These little things may seem trivial, but they also cause discomfort. So, the first truth asks us to open our eyes to this reality. Suffering is part of life. Instead of ignoring it, we need to recognize it. However, this truth is not meant to make you feel hopeless. It's actually the first step towards freedom. When we acknowledge that suffering exists, we stop running away from it. We become ready to face it, and when we face something directly, we can start to understand it. 2. The second noble truth. The cause of suffering, samadaya. Now that we understand that suffering is a part of life, the second truth helps us to see why we suffer. According to the Buddha, the root cause of suffering is desire or attachment. We suffer because we want things to be different from how they are. We desire things we don't have, and we cling to things we do have, fearing that we might lose them. Let's think about this for a moment. Have you ever wanted something so badly that it consumed your thoughts? Maybe it was a new job, a relationship, or a certain level of success. When we desire these things, our minds are not at peace. Even if we get what we want, the satisfaction doesn't last forever. We move on to the next desire, and the cycle of craving continues. But it's not just material things. We also cling to ideas, opinions, and emotions. We hold on to anger, frustration, and jealousy, and these emotions create a negative atmosphere in our minds. This attachment is like a heavy burden we carry with us, making it hard to find peace and happiness. This truth teaches us that the root cause of our suffering is not the external world, but our inner craving and attachment. When we desire things to be permanent in a world that is constantly changing, we set ourselves up for disappointment. 3. The third noble truth. The end of suffering, nirodha. Here is where the real hope comes in. The third truth tells us that suffering can end. Yes, it is possible to live without being trapped by negativity and desires. This is not just an idea. It's a real possibility that anyone can experience. How can suffering end? The key is to let go of attachment. When we stop clinging to desires and expectations, we free ourselves from the mental chains that hold us down. Think of it like carrying a heavy bag on your back. If you drop the bag, your walk becomes much lighter and you feel free. In the same way, when we release our attachment to things, emotions, and outcomes, our mind becomes light, open, and peaceful. This doesn't mean we should give up everything or stop caring about life. It means that we should live in a way that is balanced. We can enjoy life without becoming attached to the highs and lows. We can love others without trying to control them. We can work hard without being obsessed with success. This is the essence of what the Buddha called nirvana, a state of peace where the fires of desire and attachment no longer burn us. 4. The fourth noble truth. The path to the end of suffering, magga. Now, the last truth tells us how we can achieve this state of peace. The fourth truth is the Eightfold Path, which is like a guidebook for living a balanced and mindful life. It consists of 8 practices that, when followed, can help us end suffering and cultivate a positive mind. Let's go through these 8 steps briefly. Right view. Understanding the nature of reality and accepting the 4 noble truths. Right intention. Committing to self-improvement and letting go of harmful thoughts. Right speech. Speaking truthfully and kindly. Right action. Acting in ways that do not harm others. Right livelihood. Earning a living in a way that aligns with your values. Right effort. Putting effort into positive habits and thoughts. Right mindfulness. Being fully present and aware in each moment. Right concentration. Developing focus through meditation. By following this path, step by step, we start to train our mind to move away from negativity and towards a more peaceful and compassionate way of living. Each step works together to help us purify our thoughts, actions, and speech. It's like cleaning a dirty window. At first, it may seem hard, but as you wipe away the dirt, the light begins to shine through more clearly. Applying the 4 noble truths in everyday life. Now that we've explored the 4 noble truths, let's talk about how you can apply them in your everyday life. The truths are not just abstract concepts. They are tools you can use to change the way you think and feel. The next time you feel overwhelmed by negativity, take a moment to reflect on these truths. Ask yourself, what is the source of my suffering right now? Is it a desire for something to be different? Am I holding on to an emotion or expectation? By recognizing the root of your suffering, you can begin to let it go. Start small. You don't have to give up all your desires at once. Instead, begin by practicing mindfulness and being aware of how attachment and craving create tension in your mind. Gradually, you will notice that by letting go of some of these desires, your mind becomes lighter and more peaceful. This is the path to ending mental suffering. It's a journey that requires patience, but with each step, you will feel more in control of your thoughts and emotions. The Four Noble Truths are your guide, and they will always lead you back to a place of inner peace and positivity. Karma and mind, how our actions shape our thought patterns. In the quiet corners of our minds, we often hear whispers of our past. These whispers shape who we are and how we think. In Buddhism, this concept is known as karma. Karma is not just about good and bad actions. It is about the intentions behind those actions and how they create ripples in our minds and lives. Every thought we think, every word we speak, and every action we take sends waves into the universe, shaping our experiences and perspectives. Imagine a small pebble thrown into a still pond. The moment it hits the water, ripples begin to spread outward. This is how our actions and thoughts function in the world. Each positive action creates a ripple of goodness, while negative actions generate waves of negativity. Therefore, when we cultivate positive thoughts, we not only improve our own lives, but also influence those around us. It's a simple but profound truth. What we put out into the world often comes back to us. Let's consider a common scenario. You wake up in the morning feeling anxious. You might think, today is going to be a terrible day. This negative thought can lead to negative actions. Maybe you snap at a friend or coworker, or you avoid activities you usually enjoy. This creates a cycle of negativity. But what if you change that first thought? Instead of thinking, today will be terrible, you could think, today is a new opportunity. This small shift can lead to different actions and, in turn, create a much more positive day. Understanding karma encourages us to reflect on our thoughts and actions. It reminds us that our intentions matter. If we approach each day with a kind heart and a positive mind, we start to build a life filled with light. Think of it as planting seeds in a garden. If you plant seeds of kindness, love, and positivity, you will eventually reap a harvest of joy and fulfillment. Moreover, it's essential to realize that karma is not about punishment or reward. It's about learning and growth. Every action has consequences, and those consequences teach us valuable lessons. When we make a mistake, instead of dwelling on it, we should ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective allows us to embrace our experiences, whether positive or negative, as opportunities for growth. Let's delve deeper into how this applies to our mental well-being. When we cultivate positive thoughts, we are not ignoring the challenges we face. Instead, we are choosing to respond to them in a constructive way. For example, if someone criticizes you, instead of reacting with anger or self-doubt, consider their words as a chance to learn about yourself. Ask yourself, is there some truth in this? How can I use this feedback to improve? This approach transforms negativity into a pathway for growth. Similarly, being mindful of our actions and their impact on others is crucial. When we act with kindness and compassion, we create an environment that fosters positivity. Small gestures, a smile, a helping hand, or even a kind word can uplift others and, in turn, enhance our own mental state. We become not just passive recipients of karma, but active participants in creating a more positive world. Now, let's explore a practical way to harness this understanding of karma in our daily lives. Each evening, take a few moments to reflect on your day. Ask yourself, what thoughts did I have today? How did my actions reflect those thoughts? Were there moments where I let negativity take over? By acknowledging these instances, you can learn to recognize patterns in your thinking and behavior. This practice of reflection creates awareness, which is the first step toward change. You'll begin to notice how your thoughts shape your actions and how those actions, in turn, affect your mental state. With this awareness, you can consciously choose to cultivate more positive thoughts and intentions, creating a ripple effect of positivity in your life. It's also essential to understand that the concept of karma teaches us patience. Change does not happen overnight. Just as a garden takes time to grow, so does the transformation of our minds. With each positive thought you nurture, you are watering the seeds of a more peaceful and joyful existence. Over time, you will find that your default mode of thinking shifts from negative to positive. Karma is a powerful tool for reshaping our minds. By recognizing the connection between our thoughts, actions, and their consequences, we can consciously choose to create a more positive mental landscape. This doesn't mean we will never face challenges or negative feelings. Instead, it equips us with the wisdom to navigate those feelings with grace. In the end, understanding karma encourages us to live intentionally. Every thought, every action, and every interaction is an opportunity to create a better future for ourselves and others. As we embrace this wisdom, we cultivate a mind that is resilient, open, and full of compassion. By nurturing positivity and kindness in our thoughts and actions, we can truly transform our lives and the world around us. Living in the present, letting go of past negativity. In our fast-paced lives, it is easy to get lost in the past. We often replay old conversations, mistakes, and regrets as if we are stuck in a loop. This constant dwelling on what has already happened creates a burden on our minds and hearts, making it difficult to embrace the present moment. As a Zen master, I invite you to explore the beauty and power of living in the present, for it is here that true peace and happiness reside. Imagine a river flowing gently. The water moves forward, never looking back. Each moment is new, fresh, and full of possibility. Just like that river, our lives should flow in the present, without getting trapped in the past. When we cling to past negativity, we anchor ourselves to moments that can no longer be changed. Instead of allowing these thoughts to pull us down, we can choose to let go and move with the current of life. Let's take a moment to breathe. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Feel your chest rise and expand. Now, slowly exhale, letting go of all the tension and worries. With each breath, remind yourself that this moment is all you truly have. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow is yet to come. The present is a gift, waiting for you to unwrap it. In Buddhism, we often speak about the concept of mindfulness. This practice encourages us to be fully present in each moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of getting caught up in negativity, we can acknowledge it, understand it, and then let it drift away like leaves floating down the river. When we learn to live in the present, we also become more aware of our emotions. Often, we carry the weight of unresolved feelings from past experiences. These emotions can cloud our judgment and prevent us from experiencing joy. Allow yourself to feel those emotions, but do not let them define you. Acknowledge them, and then gently set them aside. You are not your past. You are who you choose to be in this moment. One powerful practice is to create a daily ritual of gratitude. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on what you are thankful for. It can be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face or the laughter of a friend. By focusing on the positive aspects of your life, you shift your attention away from negativity. This practice helps to cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Sometimes, it helps to visualize the past as a book. Imagine closing that book and placing it on a shelf. You can revisit it if you choose, but it does not have to dictate your future. Instead, open the book of today, filled with blank pages ready for you to write your story. What do you want to create in your life right now? Each moment is an opportunity to make new choices, to act with kindness, and to live with intention. Remember, the present moment is where true transformation happens. It is in this space that we can cultivate awareness, learn from our experiences, and grow. Let go of the weight of your past and embrace the lightness of being present. The more you practice living in the now, the easier it becomes. You will find that negative thoughts have less power over you, and joy becomes more accessible. Surround yourself with reminders to stay present. This could be a small object, a photo, or even a simple phrase you write down. Whenever you see this reminder, take a moment to breathe and reconnect with the present. Use it as a tool to anchor yourself when you feel your mind wandering back to the past. Engaging in activities that require your full attention can also help cultivate presence. Whether it's gardening, painting, or cooking, immerse yourself fully in the task at hand. Notice the colors, textures, and smells around you. Feel the joy of creation and the satisfaction of being fully engaged in the moment. These activities can serve as a reminder that life unfolds in the now, and there is beauty in each breath we take. As we explore the art of living in the present, let us also remember the importance of self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself as you learn to let go of past negativity. It is a process, and it takes time. There will be moments when you slip back into old patterns, and that's okay. Acknowledge those feelings without judgment and return to the present moment with kindness. When we embrace the present, we create space for new experiences and opportunities. We become more open to love, joy, and connection with others. Life becomes richer, and we can fully appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. Each day is a new canvas, and you are the artist. What masterpiece will you create today? In conclusion, let go of the past and the negativity that comes with it. Embrace the present moment, for it is where true peace and happiness reside. With practice, you will find that living in the now brings clarity, joy, and fulfillment. Remember, just like the river, let your life flow forward, free from the burdens of yesterday. Let this be your journey toward a more positive and fulfilling life. Conclusion: cultivating long-lasting peace and positive energy. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on what we have learned about removing negativity from our minds. Throughout this series, we have explored how our thoughts shape our reality and how, through Buddhist teachings, we can find lasting peace and positive energy. But what does it truly mean to cultivate a peaceful mind, and how can we carry these lessons into our daily lives? Imagine starting each day with a clean slate. Each morning, you can choose how to respond to the world around you. Just as the sun rises, bringing light and warmth, you have the power to bring positivity into your life. Remember the practice of mindfulness? It teaches us to pause, breathe, and become aware of our thoughts. This simple act can transform your day. Instead of reacting to negative thoughts, you can observe them without judgment. Over time, this practice will help you let go of what doesn't serve you. The Four Noble Truths have guided us on this path. The first truth reminds us that suffering is a part of life. But the second truth offers hope. There is a way to overcome this suffering. The third truth tells us that freedom from suffering is possible. Finally, the fourth truth provides the Eightfold Path, a guide to living a life of peace and happiness. By integrating these teachings into your daily routine, you will begin to notice a shift in your perspective. Embracing impermanence is another vital lesson we've discussed. Everything in life is changing. Just as the seasons shift, so do our thoughts and feelings. When you accept this, you'll find it easier to let go of negativity. Instead of clinging to past grievances, allow yourself to experience life as it is, in each moment. This acceptance can be liberating. Compassion is a powerful tool. When you cultivate compassion for yourself, it naturally extends to others. Practice kindness in your thoughts and actions. When you encounter negativity, whether from yourself or those around you, respond with understanding. This shift not only helps you, but also creates a ripple effect in your community. Imagine the change we can create when we choose compassion over criticism. Let's not forget the importance of community. Surrounding yourself with positive influences can greatly impact your mindset. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you. Join groups or communities that promote mindfulness and positivity. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Together, we can support one another in cultivating peace. As we conclude, take a moment to set an intention for yourself. What will you carry forward from these teachings? Perhaps you want to practice mindfulness every day or commit to acts of compassion. Whatever it is, hold on to this intention. Write it down and let it serve as a reminder of your commitment to living a positive life. Before we part ways, I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your voice is important, and it can inspire others on their journey. If you found value in this series, consider liking and sharing it with others who might benefit. Your support helps spread these teachings, bringing light to those who seek it. Finally, Remember that cultivating long-lasting peace and positive energy is a continuous journey. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice what you've learned. Stay committed to your growth and be gentle with yourself along the way. Together, we can create a world filled with love, understanding, and peace. Thank you for joining me on this path, and may your journey be filled with joy and tranquility.